exciting for us. And if you can put in your 10,000 hours at something and still be excited about it in hour 10,001, you're doing something right.
That's
There's
fucking
also
awesome.
there's also one more thing about finding your niche in a lane and trying to build a voice. And I think like if you got to see Don't Fuck with Ghosts, like that's our voice. That's something that we are trying to tell stories in a different way that not everyone's doing. And hopefully we're standing out to people to be like, whoa, that was fucking cool. That was different. That was like a different way to see and hear a story come to life. And I think that's about trying to be original in this day and age too, instead of cookie cutting and doing reboots of stuff. Get your own shit out there.
Today on the show, we are joined with Adam Rodness and Stu Stone with their brand new movie, Don't Fuck with Ghosts. This film is a horror comedy. It's also this really cool hybrid mixing reality and fiction. And around hearing about this really awesome and fun film, it's just amazing to pick both Adam and Stu's brains on their overall experience in the entertainment industry. They both have a lot of accolades over the years. And even if you look into Stu's history, and if you're around my age, his voice has been on almost every cartoon you've grown up watching. And over the years, both of them have worn so many different hats, and this film, along with a few others, is kind of like a melting pot of all their experience. So even though this interview is a bit of a quickie, it's just full of substance and awesomeness. So yeah, let's get right into it. Really nice to meet you guys. I watched the film this morning, and it was just, it was so fun. And I can't say enough like how much I kind of love that style where it's like half scripted, half documentary. Like I kind of grew up on like watching Borat and Ali G, stuff like that. So it's
Awesome.
kind of cool that you guys leaned into that direction. And also just this is the first time I've seen a collaboration of you two, and it seems like you guys have history working together. So I kind of want to know like how you met and like how these projects started happening.
You know what? That's a fantastic question. Stu, why don't you go ahead? Why don't you tell him how we met? Or no, I guess yeah, tell him how we met.
Yeah, Adam and I were friends, and then he went behind my back, dated my sister, ended up marrying my sister. So he is my brother-in-law. We uh that's that
Well, I
that
didn't really do it behind your back as much as I dated your sister in front of your back.
no, it was
And
definitely
then
behind it. There was not in front of it.
mm, no, we were in front of it.
No,
And
no,
and then I ended up marrying his sister. I have two beautiful children now with his
that's
sister, and
true.
he is
That's
now my
true.
brother-in-law.
That's true.
And he now gets to be the uncle to my children.
That's
So
true.
at the end of the day, Stu actually really did win. But no, we actually grew up in the same city in Thornhill, Ontario, Canada. We had some common friends. We like to, play poker and hang out and watch wrestling, and that's how we kind of connected. And he was living out in Los Angeles, and I was wanting to go out there and try LA out for a bit, and he took me under his wing, and we just created a nice friendship that grew into a partnership, and now we're family and business partners.
Oh, that's so cool. And yeah, so I guess yeah, part of what I didn't know was the script or not. Like that's part of the reality right there where you guys
That's the
That
are actually
reality.
brothers and
there's so much reality in, and like when you made the Borat comparison, it's very apt because like imagine that first time you saw the Borat movie and you were just like blown away by it, right? Like that's how I felt. That's how Adam felt. There's there's something so amazing and magical about that hybrid style. Now, the difference between us and Borat is that when you watch Borat as an audience member, you know that that's Sacha Baron Cohen playing a character, and you know that that's not a real guy, Borat. That's a
Mhm.
guy playing a character who's going out and fucking with people. If you were just flipping the channels and you land on our show or our movie, you don't know that because Adam and I are not playing a character. We are ourselves. We are dealing with real people that are not, we're not going in there being like, oh, yuck, smash. Like we're being
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
And so there's a whole other level of reality that we get to play with that maybe even Sacha Baron Cohen doesn't get to do because he's got to find people that really buy that Borat's a real guy. We are real guys. So
Mhm.
that makes it a whole different weapon when you're out there. Our movie is very meta, but it's also like we love movies. Obviously, you love movies. This is a love letter to the industry and a satire kind of how movies and TV shows and reality shows are made by this is how it is. Obviously, it's a little more ridiculous than normal, but like I've worked on reality shows and magic shows and ghost shows, and Adam's done the same. This is how it is. And
Yeah, hell
so,
yeah.
you go out there and there's not, for us, we want to suspend people's disbelief in a whole new way. And if you watch this thing and you think something's real, then we win because, and chances are it is real. What you are thinking is real. We
Hmm.
did another movie called Faking a Murderer, where Adam and I convinced everybody that we were looking for a serial killer. And everybody, like our family, our friends, just everybody thinks we're going and looking for a killer.
But I'm talking like we went to like real private investigators. We
Yeah.
were real cops,
Like we went
and
on
we
a with
created this
cops. Yeah.
whole thing, and people went along. And that was like really the chapter one in this Adam and Stu saga, where Don't Fuck with Ghosts is chapter two. And the next one we may or may not go find Bigfoot. We may or may not go have an interview with a real vampire. Like this is kind of we take real people who are unknowingly pushing the narrative forward in our films, and it's a lot of blurred lines. It's a lot of what's real, what's fake. It's a mind fuck at the end of the
Also,
day,
it's
and we
also
just
like
keep you
difficult.
entertained.
It's very difficult. Imagine you get when you're doing a scripted film, like we've done scripted films. We have Bandits and Scarecrows, all sorts of movies that are more traditional style scripted movies. When you're doing a scripted movie, you get a box of puzzle pieces. You have a picture of the puzzle, and you can put the pieces together to make your thing. This movie is just like a garbage bag of puzzle pieces with no picture, and you have to try to make it fit. And like that is such a crazy way to make a movie, but it works for us. And
Yeah.
it's stressful, but it's like so fun because the end result is what you get. And I think we did a legitimate documentary a few years ago called Jack of All Trades, which was about the baseball card industry. And we spent years working on this documentary. And Adam did a documentary previously to that called 20 Moves, which is about the Rubik's Cube. And I've worked on Dark Side of the Ring for many years.
Oh, that's
For
amazing. Fucking love that show, man.
Thank you. So
Yeah.
we're working on documentaries. And so when we still owed another horror movie to our previous distributor, we were like, well, let's just shoot a horror movie like this. Like this is the
Yeah.
style filmmaking. And it just evolved. It just
Yeah.
evolved.
Yeah, that's cool. And it seems like just like almost like hearing you speak about it is like just kind of like your natural style. And even it's cool. Like I clicked on your IDMB Stu, and obviously it shows Donnie Darko, like the big headline. But as I scroll back in time, it's so cool to kind of like see almost the beginnings of your voice acting and just kind of realizing you are part of so much of my childhood from Fox Kids and like YTV and almost like way too many shows I can even shout out right now.
Are you
But then,
kidding? That's Ralphie from the Magic School Bus.
yeah, yeah, I'm talking to Ralphie. I'm talking like you were on like Are You Afraid of the Dark, Cryptkeeper, all that shit. But it's cool, like even like to like go forward in time on your page, and then you see you live acting and then producing and directing. And in this movie, like Don't Fuck with Ghosts, you can almost see like the hybrid of everything you do all kind of compiling into one. And I think that's kind of cool, like kind of sharpening your sword in like different ways throughout the longevity of your career and then making it almost like turning all these different experiences into your superpower and like making art with that too. Do you feel like that's kind of like where you're at right now with like all the different hats you wear?
I definitely feel like that Adam and I both, out of necessity, have to wear a million hats just due to the nature of being Canadian filmmakers, independent filmmakers. We gotta spend our dollar like it's $100.
Hmm.
So we have to wear a million hats, which means that I'm doing music, Adam's doing, we're doing way more than normal to make these things happen. But to your point, I do feel like I definitely have an advantage over a lot of people due to the fact that I've been doing this since I'm 2 years old. I was in I was a child actor growing up. I've been on a million sets and I've been on both sides of the camera in every which way. I've also worked in magic. I produced Chris Angel's TV show. I worked
Oh,
in
cool.
wrestling for many years. I worked in wrestling, and me and Adam actually both worked in wrestling for a little
Oh,
while.
yeah.
So there's like a little element of all of those things. I worked with Jamie Kennedy, who was a hidden camera guru with his Jamie Kennedy Experiment show, and we did some hybrid stuff. Uh, Kevin Healy, who is the executive producer of this film, who works for Kevin Hart's company, Heartbeat, who saw our movie Faking a Murder. He comes from a hidden camera background and a Borat fan like you. Like he got what we were doing. And it's a matter of we're out there trying to find an audience and build an audience and do something different. And when you've been at it for so long, like I feel like I have, what's going to keep me excited? You know,
Hmm.
that's what's going to keep me excited, is to try to come up with new ways to do this,
Yeah.
which is really hard to do because there's only so many different things you could do. Um, but yes, there is an advantage for sure. And I do feel like all of the different swords that have been sharpened over the years are now like, a Voltron sword in the,
Yeah, the
they're
Megazord all coming
yes,
together and
yes,
everything. Yeah, yeah, you mentioned a bunch of times like being kind of like in the wrestling industry too, and I love how you sprinkled that into brought Colt Cabana, who I'm a
of
fan
course.
of, and that was a nice surprise for me too. And I noticed that kind of segment was one of the real ones too, because of the genuine reactions. You guys are like actually there with like the psychic medium, and also like I wanted to ask you, Adam, about this. Like there's like moments where it's you had these moments where you were like feeling a certain energy or even like coughing and stuff. Was that kind of an act, or were you
No,
actually
man.
in the moment just feeling these type
I
of things in the room?
I swear on my children's lives that was all organic. And when we were in that covenant, the
Convent.
convent, sorry, my throat literally started to like get very dry and close up, and I started coughing out of nowhere. And it
Mhm.
was the strangest thing after she was describing what was happening in that room and the history of that room. Um, and it was just everything that we did in this movie that we tried to plot out. We do have an outline, and there's a loose, kind of call it a script, but a loose script with no dialogue, but just all action and events that we want to tell, right? And everything that we went out to do came back and worked perfectly. Like we overshot, of course, to get an amazing, reactions and conversations. But everything we do in this movie is one take, right? We only have one take to be with that one person. You can't go and re refilm it or do another one because it didn't work for you. You got to work with what you have. So we were so lucky in that everything that we went out to set and to try to build came to us really organically. It was a really awesome process, and we you could see how much fun we have doing it. Right? That's not put on either. The fun we have is legit.
Not to mention the crew is in the dark too, not just the people that are there. Like the people who are on the crew, like they think that they're, because they are. We're going and going on a ghost hunt. Like you may not see them on camera, but there's like a crew of like 5, 6 people that they're in the room too.
Mhm.
It's like
And
they're
they're also waiting for us to like for someone to fuck with them. Like they think that they're on a prank show, right? So every time like they're like in a dark house or something, like they're looking over, like, guys, just relax. We're doing this for real. We're not pranking you. This is actually happening. And let's go do it, walk through it together. So we were all experiencing the same thing.
Yeah, it's so cool and so exciting. I'm definitely gonna recommend this movie to people, and it's coming out really soon. And also like just to let you know, like I've noticed with these segments I do, a lot of creatives themselves have been kind of gravitating, listening in, whether they're like filmmakers or musicians stuff. And I would just like I always like to leave like people with like a bit of I don't know whether it's like advice or something from the professionals. So would you guys have any like advice for like maybe an aspiring filmmaker who has a big idea and like is trying to take the first steps to bring it to life?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think like, on the producing angle and like really trying to get your movie made and financed, it's it's a meet who you know situation, and you got to cold call, you got to knock on doors, you got to go out to events, you got to not take no for an answer, and when those no's come, and they will, just build them all up, and you know that you're one step closer to that yes. I think it's about like keeping consistency, whether like if you're not working on a movie, you're writing a script, or if you're not writing a script, you're listening to a podcast like this. If you're always trying to educate yourself and learn more, because the more you learn and the more information you retain, the next time you do something, you got to beat what you did last time. Like our next movie's got to be better than this one, right? Like that's just how it goes. And the only way you actually get to do that is to keep educating. So knock on doors always, and my rule is I'll always take a meeting. People took my meetings when I had nothing under my belt, and I just kept at it, and we kept at it, and we kept on writing and just pitching, and it didn't matter. This is the destiny. This is what it is. And if you could think about doing anything else in the world that would make you happy, go do that, because this is so hard and it takes so much persistence and determination that if something else makes you happy, this isn't for you. Like, because it's too much, right? Like, you got to really believe that you're going to make something happen for this to be viable.
You have to be a sick individual.
In some ways, you got to do
for the sickos.
You have to be a sadist.
And then the next thing I would say is, like,
you're in this business, you are told no, this thing sucks. You spend 2 years working on a movie, you put it out, some guy on a podcast like, wow, that fucking sucked. And it's like, oh, it's like there's so it's just like no.
I think
create your own opportunity is the thing that Adam, if I may paraphrase what he said, you got to create your own opportunity. You can't wait for the phone to ring because it's not going to ring. You got to make it happen yourself. Adam and I want to be in movies. Who the hell's going to put me and Adam in a movie? We got to make our own. That's how we'll be in the movie. We have to make our own movie. And so we made several movies where we weren't in them just to show people that we could make movies. And then we started creeping into the movies. We did this movie Bandits. We kind of popped into Faking a Murder, which you should watch. It's Don't Fuck with Ghosts, but with true crime. And we're going to do more. We already are greenlit to do a Bigfoot. We're going to go look for Bigfoot next. That's happening. We're going to go do more of this type of stuff because this is really, really, this is exciting for us. And if you can put in your 10,000 hours at something and still be excited about it in hour 10,001, you're doing something right.
There's also one more thing about finding your niche in a lane and trying to build a voice. And I think, like, if you got to see Don't Fuck with Ghosts, like, that's our voice. That's something that we are trying to tell stories in a different way that not everyone's doing. And, hopefully we're standing out to people to be like, whoa, that was fucking cool. That was different. That was like a different way to see and hear a story come to life. And I think that's about, trying to be original in this day and age too, instead of, cookie cutting and doing reboots of stuff, get your own shit out there.
Yeah, I love and respect that so much. Digging your vibe so much, and I'm excited to see what's next. I'm excited to see this Bigfoot one. Unfortunately, we ran out of time. I feel like I could talk to you guys forever. So hopefully down the road. Man. Yeah, I definitely love
it. Call me after.
Yeah, definitely got you. Yeah. So I'm gonna follow you guys on everything, and we'll keep in touch. And hope you guys have a great media day, and talk to you soon.
Awesome. Thanks a lot, man. October 31st. Don't fuck with ghosts everywhere.
Thanks once again to Adam and Stu for this amazing conversation. Like Adam mentioned right at the end, October 31st, you can watch Don't Fuck with Ghosts. We'll be sure to remind you on all our socials, and hope I can talk to them again. Especially Stu. I don't know if you noticed, but we've been doing all these different legacy episodes, and Stu's just been on like 100 cartoons that we could revisit. But yeah, I'm probably gonna bug both of them in the future, especially maybe even learn more of their wrestling side of the things and the dark side of the things. Shout out to everybody at Dark Side of the Ring, such an incredible series. And yeah, like always, before we go, we can't run away without thanking all you legends on the Patreon page. And first up, huge thanks to Mike Carniello of the Testing with Mike YouTube channel. If you're into electronics, technology, how they work, and most importantly, how to fix them, check out Testing with Mike. Another big thanks to Amanda McKnight. Amanda McKnight also has her very own YouTube channel. Type in VampX13 or Amanda McKnight to soak in some good vibes, celebrate comic book, video games, movies, and all things nerdy. That's Amanda McKnight on YouTube. Another huge thanks to the wonderful Jenny Potter, the legend Devin McBride, back-to-back double impact Allens, the number one gent Alan Kent, and bigwig Alan Briggs. Biggest and most sincere thanks to the Queen, Ola Mazuka, and our homeboy Josh Davis, aka Jay Dizzle, and last but not least, Francis Coffer, aka my mom. If you want a shout out at the end of every episode and also get these episodes early, raw, uncut, right when I'm done the Zoom call, I just post them. You can go to patreon.com/The Creative Imbalance, and beyond having my forever thanks, you can just go to bed at night and sleep soundly knowing you're a badass motherfucker who supports raw, uncut, independent media. And nobody can take that away from you. You hear me? With that being said, we got amazing episodes around the corner. Stay tuned and we'll catch you next time. Cheers!